And we welcome to the program Kelly Bennett, Multimedia Journalist, SuperTalk Mississippi News.
Happy Friday the 13th, y'all.
That's right. It's Friday the 13th.
Yes.
Absolutely. Forgot about that.
I've decided to go to a haunted house tonight, of all things. I figured what better day than Friday the 13th. That's happening.
That's a propose for sure. All right, Kelly. So Senator Roger Wicker was on with Mr. Gallo. Was it yesterday or day before? Earlier this week. And was talking about giving a warning, I guess, and discussing this Day of Rage, which is actually scheduled for and going on today. And I just saw some reports. There are anti-Israel protests taking place across the world right now.
Yes, there are. And I think it was France where a teacher was stabbed to death this morning and another was injured. I'm looking there. I've been really keeping my eye out to see if anything happens in the U.S. And so far it looks like it's quiet. But Senator Roger Wicker, we did ask him about this during his visit, and here's what he had to say.
I think we are now prepared. If this attack had not happened, we might have more to worry about because I don't think anyone would have expected anything to happen, say, in the United States or the rest of the Western world. But I think we're pretty much on guard.
And like many Americans, he's concerned about the possibility of terrorists coming into our country through the porous border.
We need to just realize that if someone can come across the border that's well guarded between Gaza and Israel, we can only absolutely be sure that some of the worst actors in the world are coming across our border.
Food for thought.
Yeah, no doubt. And I sure hope that seeing the events unfolding in Israel brings that more into focus and that Americans start pressuring, especially the Democrats and the president, who just don't have an interest in truly securing the border. Maybe this will open their eyes a bit and we'll get some action there. That's what I'm hoping for. I appreciate the senator being on with Mr. Gallo to talk about that. Let's discuss what's going on here in the state of Mississippi. We had a candidate withdraw from the governor's race.
Yeah, and this is going to affect the ballot, but not in the way you might think. So here's what happened. The governor's race narrowed Monday when independent candidate Gwendolyn Gray withdrew her name. She's giving her support to Brandon Presley. Now, this would appear to rid any possible instance of a possible runoff between Reeves and Presley. However, the Secretary of State's office said Gray will remain on the ballot on November 7th because candidates' names can't be removed once the first ballot is printed. So I found that kind of interesting. Like, it's too late to take her off.
We could have a candidate receive votes that's really not running.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and there was some more big political news this week. In the presidential candidate Robert Kennedy Jr. announced his independent candidacy for president. He did that on Monday, officially ending his effort to defeat President Joe Biden in the Democratic primary. And we talked with Mississippi College Associate Professor of Political Science Glenn Antizo about this, and he says he thinks Kennedy may scoop off some votes on the Republican side.
This is one of those times. I don't think the impact will be as big as Ross Perot in 92 or 96, where Perot got like 19% of the vote in 92 or 10% in 96. But I think between Cornel West and Kennedy, I think that there is a chance that nobody gets a majority. Obviously, there's a lot of discontent in the country right now.
Yeah, that's interesting analysis there from the professor. I kind of believe that he's likely to siphon off more Republican votes. I just feel like that's the case. I don't think he's enough aligned with the typical Democrat list of priorities, if you will. But it really only matters in those handful of states that swing the election, those 4 or 5 swing states. And, and we'll see kind of what happens there. But it certainly makes it interesting.
One more political story for you. Hinds County Supervisor Vern Gavin wants to overturn the results of the August primary. They're going to have a hearing October 30th to determine whether his complaint against challenger Wanda Evers can move forward. The District 4 supervisor lost his bid for re-election by about 400 votes. He is claiming that Evers didn't meet state residency requirements. Of course, Evers denies those claims.
Interesting. And I saw that I believe their systems have been restored to their IT systems in Hinds County have been restored to operational state, having gone down on September the 7th. And that outage endured for over 3 weeks. No IT systems.
Yeah, that takes a while. But I think the DHS services are still shut down in Hinds County. There was a building there that was having issues, and people were getting their TANF and SNAP benefits late as a result.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's always a problem that just kind of lingers around out there, looms around, and waits to strike. What do you know about wildfires with respect to our firefighters?
Well, I don't know about you in Jackson. I'm on the Mississippi coast. We finally got some rain this week. However, we're so far behind in the rain category. I think we've usually had 4 inches on the coast by now, and we've only had 2. So even the rains we've been having recently aren't helping out. And we talked with John Pope. He's Collins Fire Chief and President of the Mississippi Firefighters Association. They are actually receiving help and battling these wildfires from other states, and that's not something that typically happens.
In these wildland fire situations and brush fire situations, ember or burning brand, can travel in wind currents up to a half a mile and still have enough heat to it to be able to ignite in another location.
Isn't that something? I mean, a mile and a half away. That's wow. And of course, we're also, because of the drought, experiencing some issues with our agriculture industry. We talked with Andy Gibson about that earlier this week. There's a hay shortage. Are you aware of this?
Which is worst in South Mississippi, but it extends about to 99% of the entire state right now. That drought goes all the way out across Louisiana, all the way across Texas and New Mexico, all the way up the Mississippi River Basin to the Midwest and across the northern United States.
Sorry, that was him talking about the drought in general, but he also did talk about the hay shortage and what they're doing about it.
For the last couple of years, there's been a drought out in Texas, and those folks have been buying our excess hay. Now, we have not been able to produce the type of hay that we needed to have for our own cattle and our own livestock. So we have a hay shortage. Mississippi State Extension has published a hay directory that's online. You can, if you have hay for sale, please go there and put it in. If you need to buy some, go there and check it out.
Livestock producers have been selling off their cattle as a result because they just can't afford to feed them. Now, there is help available through a USDA program, and you can get all the details on that. Please apply for assistance if it's affecting you, and all that info is up at supertalk.fm.
Yeah, so we got a new charter school, I believe a high school, right, added to the portfolio of charter schools. Tell us about that.
Well, there are currently 10 charter schools operating in the state, and we talked with Grant Callen earlier this week. He's the founder and CEO of Empower Mississippi. He gave us the details on approval for another one.
And really, the great news is that we just got through a charter application cycle, and the first charter high school in the state was approved to open, and that's in Clarksdale, and it's Clarksdale Collegiate that Amanda Johnson has operated in an elementary school and a middle school, and now they've been approved to open a high school.
80% of the applicants over the last 10 years have been denied.
I think there is a growing interest by board members to say yes more and to try and get higher quality applicants.
So Empower Mississippi has started a program called Embark, and through it, they're offering potential school founders help to get their schools approved, which he thinks will be happening more in the future.
Yeah, I agree. Elise Marcelino runs Embark. She's been a longtime member of the Empower team, does an excellent job with that, and I'm optimistic we're going to see more traction and more work towards improving and extending and expanding the school choice programs in the state of Mississippi. Kelly, good to talk to you. Appreciate you coming on. Great update. Good stuff. Thanks.
Thanks a lot. Y'all have a great weekend.
You too. We're coming right back. Half an hour left in the Element Wealth studio and tickets to give away.